where the mega-rich actually hide their fortunes today. Where do the ultra-wealthy really hide their fortunes? And how do they keep their billions safe from taxes, lawsuits, and prying eyes, generation after generation? Today, we're uncovering the shocking secrets the mega-rich don't want you to know. If you think billionaires just own fancy cars and private jets, think again. Because behind the scenes, they're playing a whole different game, one that you can learn from. Stick around, because what I'm about to reveal could change the way you see wealth forever, and show you how the ultra-rich protect their legacy, while most of us leave it all on the table. The family wealth dilemma: why most wealth disappears by the second generation. First, let's understand the problem. According to studies, a staggering 70% of wealthy families lose their wealth by the second generation, and by the third, 90% are broke or significantly diminished. These numbers are alarming. It's not because the children are lazy or reckless. Rather, it's because the structures and strategies that created the wealth aren't designed for longevity. Most wealth is accumulated through business ventures, investments, and assets that are heavily taxed and exposed to legal risks. When it's handed down directly, it's often squandered, especially if the heirs lack financial education or the discipline to manage wealth prudently. Without proper planning, inherited wealth can evaporate within decades, leaving behind nothing but stories of what once was. So the question becomes, how do the ultra-wealthy ensure their fortunes survive and even thrive across multiple generations? The answer lies in a web of sophisticated legal entities, trusts, family offices, and clever financial instruments that most of us have never been told about. The Rockefeller Legacy, a masterclass in wealth preservation. To understand these strategies, look no further than the Rockefeller family. Despite being largely out of the public eye today, the Rockefellers remain one of the wealthiest families on Earth, holding assets worth hundreds of billions, though no one can pinpoint the exact figure. How have they managed to do it? The secret is simple. They have mastered the art of control without ownership. Over the past 80 years, they've used a combination of trusts, family foundations, family offices, and innovative financial tools to keep their wealth safe, private, and growing. The power of trusts, the family's hidden fortress. One of the foundational tools used by the ultra-wealthy is the trust. Think of a trust as a legal entity that holds your assets, real estate, stocks, businesses. Yet on paper, you give up direct ownership. Instead, you set the rules for how the trust manages and distributes the assets. For example, John D. Rockefeller Jr. established trusts in 1934 for his children, holding oil stocks and real estate. These trusts have been passed down through generations, effectively shielding the assets from creditors, lawsuits, and taxes. Why trusts? Because once your money is in a trust, it's no longer yours in the traditional sense. You control it as the trustee, but the trust legally owns the assets. This means protection from lawsuits. If someone sues you personally, they cannot seize assets held in the trust. Tax advantages. When you die, the assets in the trust aren't taxed as part of your estate, helping heirs avoid hefty death taxes. Control over inheritance. You can set rules for how and when assets are distributed, ensuring wealth isn't squandered. In America, the death tax can be as high as 40%, which can wipe out a significant portion of wealth if not properly structured. Trusts help bypass this, ensuring your legacy remains intact. Life insurance, the ultra-wealthy's secret weapon. Beyond trusts, the ultra-rich leverage a surprisingly under-the-radar tool, life insurance, but not in the way most people think. For regular folks, life insurance is simply a safety net, a payout to your loved ones when you die. But for the ultra-wealthy, it's a wealth-building, tax-free investment vehicle. Here's how it works. They set up overfunded life insurance policies, sometimes through their own insurance companies, like the Rockefellers' Rockefeller Insurance Company. They pay large premiums, which grow tax-free over time. Instead of just providing a death benefit, these policies act as a tax-advantaged cash reserve. The policy's cash value can be borrowed against at low interest rates, allowing for investments in stocks, real estate, or other assets, all while the money continues to grow tax-free. This technique, called the infinite banking concept, turns life insurance policies into personal banks. Wealthy individuals borrow from their policies at interest, then invest that borrowed money to generate returns higher than the loan's interest. The key is that the borrowed money isn't taxed as income, and the death benefit can replenish the trust, perpetuating the cycle. Why is this so powerful? Because it allows the ultra-wealthy to access capital without triggering taxes, keep their wealth off the radar, avoiding estate taxes, use their assets multiple times, maximizing growth and control. Control without ownership, the key to wealth preservation. The core principle behind all these strategies is control without ownership. Instead of owning assets directly, which exposes you to taxes, liabilities, and public scrutiny, the mega-wealthy set up structures that they control, but don't necessarily own. This approach has a few critical advantages. Liability protection. If you're sued, your assets aren't directly at risk. Tax efficiency. Income taxes, estate taxes, and even some legal penalties are minimized or avoided. Privacy. Your wealth stays out of the public eye, maintaining discretion. The Russian oligarchs, for example, famously own yachts and real estate in offshore jurisdictions, all controlled through complex layers of entities that shield their identities and assets. Entities and structures. The ultra-rich use a variety of legal entities to structure their wealth. Trusts, to hold and manage assets, control inheritance, and protect from taxes. Family offices, private wealth management firms that oversee all financial affairs, investments, and estate planning for the family. Foundations, charitable or private foundations that can control wealth, influence, and legacy projects, sometimes with minimal tax liability. The waterfall effect. One of the most fascinating concepts is the waterfall effect, a strategy where each generation's life insurance policies are structured so that, when heirs die, their death benefits flow into the family trust. This replenishes the family's wealth reservoir. The cycle repeats, ensuring wealth preservation and growth over generations. By consistently funding each generation's policies and controlling the assets through trusts and foundations, families create a perpetual cycle of wealth that is virtually unstoppable. Why most people don't know or use these strategies? The reason these strategies are not mainstream boils down to incentives and information gaps. Financial incentives. Many advisors and insurance agents are paid commissions for traditional policies, not for setting up complex, flexible structures. Lack of awareness. Most people have never heard of trusts, family offices, or using life insurance as an investment tool. Legal complexity. Setting up and managing these structures requires expertise, which is often intentionally kept opaque or exclusive. Furthermore, the media and financial industry often portray life insurance and trust strategies as poor investments or complicated, discouraging average investors from exploring these options. The power of control, not ownership. The ultra-wealthy understand that owning assets outright exposes them to risks and taxes. Instead, they focus on controlling assets through trusts, insurance, and entities that are designed to be perpetually sustainable. This strategy is a form of wealth preservation and multiplication that ensures their fortunes not only survive, but grow across generations, creating dynasties that last for centuries. If you aspire to build long-lasting wealth, consider these approaches, not just for the money, but for the legacy you leave behind. Remember, the game is not just about owning stuff. It's about controlling assets efficiently and discreetly.